Hey guys, it's Lindsay. We're going to do the Earth Signs reading for January 2026. As always, if any of these readings don't align for you, please take only what you need and leave the rest. You are responsible for your own story, right? This is a group reading. January 2026 for the Earth Signs. I was going to do a general, but we're going right into Capricorn because I hear it. And you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that song by Aerosmith, Crying. I was crying when I met you. This is interesting because I'm not going to try and say this name, but it's the Brave and the Nature Lover. So I feel like you're definitely going to be spending a lot of time in nature. I keep saying this. I said this for the fire. I feel like we all need to go to ground, go to the earth. I said this for the fire reading too. But Capricorn, you are going to be spending a lot of time in nature, and or you desire to spend a lot of time in nature, and you can't, and that's the problem. You have things that you need to think through, okay? Things that you've learned recently that you really have to think through and come to terms with, and you're trying to put yourself into a space where you can get there, but I also see that like you're struggling with that coming to terms, okay? Because a lot of other things are taking your time, taking your energy, taking your focus, okay? And you really have things that you haven't healed and or come to terms with, as I said, and because of all the other stuff that's going around in your life. I'm hearing chaos. Like you have a lot of chaos going on in your life, Capricorn. You're just like all over the place, and your schedule's all over the place. This is very similar to Leo's reading as well. Like it's like you can't find a moment to sit and just be and just kind of like think through your feelings and really get settled, okay? We are coming into your birthday month, okay? So I do think as we get later into the month that you kind of will find settling and or time to process, but I think right now you're very much just in the mind and you haven't been able to have that physical time to process whatever is happening or has happened to you, okay? Because I feel like you've gone through some pretty intense energies recently and you're learning a lot of things about yourself. Because we also had the teacher. I don't know if I said that. We had the teacher card. So you're learning things about yourself. Because sometimes we can be put in situations where we thought we knew who we were, and then all of a sudden we realize we didn't, okay? So you're uncovering parts of yourself, Capricorn. You're uncovering hidden parts of yourself, and you're coming to terms with that in January, okay? I also see, so you have the power broker. You're also like, there's this thing around conversation, yes, but, okay? I'm hearing yes, but. And what that is meaning to me is A, don't make excuses for people's behavior, and B, also don't make excuses for your own behavior, okay? So if you were wronged, don't excuse someone's behavior, but also if you wronged somebody else and you know you did, don't make excuses for that behavior, right? It's in January is the time of accountability. It's the time of coming to terms with whatever it is that has occurred, okay? And I do think that that's part of this energy that's coming through for the beginning of the year, Capricorn. Okay. Virgo. We're going to do Virgo. The heart. Virgo is having something around love. What's happening around love? I'm here because she's all dressed in white if you see her. It's almost like cold heart, but not like the offer. Okay. So Virgo, I think if you are in a relationship and or you were thinking about getting in a relationship, there's something around having an offer around relationship and you're kind of waiting. Like eagerly, but trying not to seem eager about that, okay? Like, you're waiting for someone to make an offer, and you're kind of waiting eagerly, but you're like, I don't want to seem too intense about it, okay, Virgo? I do think, you just sit a little bit, but also make your intentions known as well, because I do think that this person needs some clarity around your interest, okay? So don't just sit back and expect somebody to offer. Like, you need to be very clear about what's happening and what your feelings are, if that's true, if that's the case, Virgo. Don't just sit back on the offer. Because I do sense that if you are in a romantic relationship and or there's interest there in taking things to the next level in any sense, that, it is reciprocated, okay? And I think, it does require that you show interest and you speak upon your interests, okay? Okay, interesting. Let's see. I also think part of this, because you have Urduja, the diplomat, I think part of this is you trying to give them space to feel into their feelings, okay, and not be forceful with how much you're interested in them, okay, because I feel like in the past sometimes you can be like, it can get overwhelming for other people, because you love with your full heart, right? And so you're aware of that in yourself, and you're really taking that into account, trying not to be forceful, be like, I'm so interested in you, and I love this, and blah, 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 just really letting them feel their feelings and feel into it, which is good. That shows growth, the light, right? Okay? So speak what you're going to speak, Virgo. Say what you need to say in regards to your romantic and or possible romantic relationship, and give them the room they need to come to you with this offer that's coming through. So some of that obviously may be engagement, marriage. Some of it just may be you moving into a more serious commitment with somebody. And I do see it coming through in February. I did do a love reading, and I think it may be pertaining to you as well if you go back to my 3-card reading. I think it was deck 2. It might be of interest to you, okay? So that's your reading, Virgo. Okay, now we're on Taurus. We didn't even do a general reading. We just went right into the readings with the earth signs. I can hear you're like, we don't have time. Just give us the reading. So now we're here with Taurus. Okay. Ooh. Okay, holy mother of God, Taurus. Okay, specifically, this is going to be around family. You have Kiyome, the obsession. This is a very, very intense reading. The secret keeper, Taurus. The advocate. And the hand of fate. Like, the intensity of these 4 cards, I think it's specifically going around family and someone within the family who is keeping a secret, and or they had an obsessive or addictive nature around things, around people, something like that, and or someone from outside the family who had an obsession with someone within the family. Like, it's this crossing boundary behavior, Taurus, that I'm getting. And I think you finally have that energy, the advocate. Okay, so it's going to require you to advocate for yourself and your family and be like, you've crossed boundaries. You've crossed many boundaries, and I'm not going to tolerate this. It may also require legal action, the way that it's coming through, if you haven't already brought in legal action. This person's energy is like they just want to glom onto your energy. They just want to attach themselves to you and or your family and or your family members. They're very interested in your business for some reason when they really shouldn't be. It has nothing to do with them. And so it is important that you advocate for yourself, and then you also have the hand of fate. So there are going to be some external things coming through for you that are going to help detach this person's energy from you. I also feel in some ways it may have been a friend of the family for some of you. You have the illusion, so they had an illusion of being your friend, when in fact they were more interested in like attaching themselves to the family, attaching themselves to the energy. You know, they may have been a friend who were really crossing boundaries at all levels, you know. So I do think that this is coming through. You know, definitely advocate for yourself if this is true to your situation. Stand strong for yourself. If you need to take legal measures, definitely do that. And know that there are external things happening that will also be intervening in this situation. So that's a pretty intense reading for Taurus for January 2026. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot. If you would like your own reading, please check out the links. Otherwise, I wish you guys well. Bye.